Is there one part of you that says, I want to eat clean, I want to make healthy choices, I want to exercise, I want to feel good about myself and my body? And yet there's this other part which always seems to be reaching for all the foods that you know are absolutely the worst thing for you. And you feel caught between these two, both of them fighting over what you should eat, when you should eat, how you should eat. If you want to make lasting change that really sticks, you need to focus on your motivation, on what it is that you want from your life, that big why that can truly motivate you to stay focused and make better choices, not just today, but every single day. In this video, we're going to do a deep dive into how you can find that motivation and how you can cement it, how you can keep it in your focus so that you can transform your relationship with food. It is very common for people to have ideas about how they want their lives to look and what they want their lives to be like. And this is often associated with things that they want to achieve. Now, that could be, for example, wanting to get a particular kind of job or a particular qualification. It could be to do with seeing a certain number on the scale. It could be to do with fitting into a particular dress size. There are lots of different ways that we can mark these achievements. And yet, I would like to suggest that actually, very often when people achieve these things that they thought that they wanted, it isn't actually what they expected it to be like. And one of the reasons for this is because those achievements are outward achievements, or they are numbers. It's not about how you actually feel. And really what you want is to achieve something and for it to feel a certain way. So the first thing that I would like you to do is to close your eyes and take a few moments to think about, if you achieved that goal that you perhaps have in your head, whatever it is, how would you feel? What would it look like living that different life? And how would you experience that? How would you know that you had achieved what you wanted to achieve? Would it just be about a certain amount of money in your bank account? Would it just be about being in a particular company or line of work? Is it just a number on a scale? Or is it how you feel about your life, about yourself? So take a moment and really allow yourself to feel into that. How do you want to feel when you achieve a goal? And it may be that just from that brief exercise of closing your eyes and thinking about how it would feel to be in that life, in that goal, in that situation, you may already have come up with a few words, some emotional words about how it might feel. And for some people, these are emotion words. As I say, you might feel calm, you might feel successful, you might feel powerful, you might feel strong, you might feel beautiful. Lots of different possibilities are there. Sometimes when I ask people to close their eyes and think about how it might feel, they come up with different kinds of words. They might say something like, I feel like bamboo, or it feels like a pink floaty feeling. Whichever kinds of words you come up with is absolutely fine. And it's simply a matter of noticing what those are, writing those words down, and then we can move on to the next part of this exercise for finding what truly motivates you, perhaps what your big why is. Some people, when they close their eyes in that way, they see a very full picture. They might see themselves in a particular kind of location with a particular kind of people around them, living a certain kind of life. And also, I hope, feeling what it's like to live that, to experience that, to be that person. Hopefully, it feels really good, because if it doesn't, then why would that be your motivation? From that reflection then, I hope that you've come up with a few words about how it would feel, how you would like to feel in the future when your relationship with food is different, when you feel good about what you eat and how you eat, when you feel good in your body. And taking those words, we're going to play around with them a little. Some people just like having words in their head. Some people are more linguistic or story oriented, and having that story of what it would feel like would be enough of a motivation for them. Perhaps saying, I would be the kind of person who is in this kind of place with these kinds of people. I can see myself in that situation. That can be really motivating. For others, you might come up with feeling words, and yet what exactly that looks like or how to represent that might feel a step further away. And I often suggest that you could think about or even Google, put a word into some kind of search engine and see what it comes up with for that. For example, if you put the word joy into a search engine or into a random image generator, or if you ask, what would a joyful dog or cat or whatever other animal or object look like, you might come up with some interesting kinds of cues and pictures. We are people generally who are influenced by what we see. As the old saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And in this case, we just want it to be worth at least 3 words. Sometimes people find 3 different pictures, one to represent each of those 3 words that they came up with. Other times it might be that a single picture can represent all of those things that you really want to have, that represent your big why. It could be a famous person, a role model, someone that you look up to, and you want some of how that would feel. It could be, as I say, an animal or something else entirely. Recently, someone that I did this with came up with the image of bamboo, and that covered a lot of different things for her. It covered a sense of calm, but also creativity, whether it be a bamboo flute or a bamboo brush. And so we can find things that represent being strong and calm and creative in an image which makes sense to you. And that's one of the very important things here, because for everyone it's different. What would really symbolize that in this moment for you? This which 3 words would represent the way that you want to feel is a wonderful exercise to do. And you can do it, as I said, just simply reflecting. You could do it with some kind of search online. You could draw yourself a picture of what that would look like if you have an artistic bent. You could create a song about how that would feel, a piece of music or lyrics and a melody, whatever is right for you, a creative way to express it. And this is something that some people do every day just to set themselves up for the day. How do I want to feel today? What would it help me to feel today in order to make the kinds of choices and do the kinds of actions that I want to have in my life at this point in time? For some people, there's a practice of creating a word for the year. And you could do it as just a single word, or maybe you choose 3 words. So it can be anything from what do you want today to what do you want this year, or what do you want for your whole life? What is your big why? What would you like when you're lying on your deathbed to look back over your life and say, I lived those 3 things? All of these can be useful ways of helping yourself to find what feels most important to you in this moment, what feels most like you, what feels closest to your identity or to the person that you want to be. Another very important point here is to make these words positive. So you want words like strong, calm, creative, joyful, nurtured, nourished, beautiful, self-loving, accepting, whatever those words are for you. It's important to frame this in the positive so that you can really see the benefits straight away. Once you have these words, once you have perhaps these pictures or some other creative way that represents these words for you, there's then a couple of different ways that you can use these to cement that motivation for you, to help it to guide the whole of your experience, the choices that you make day by day and moment by moment. One of these ways is to use the words while tapping, and I'm going to record a short video on that so that you could try tapping along with it and seeing how that feels. Another way that I often recommend to people is to put that picture or those pictures somewhere that you'll see them regularly. It could be that you create a screensaver for your computer or your phone. It could be that you hang them up on your fridge with a magnet. Whatever is right for you. It's really positive to see those words reflected back at you, to see them regularly. And I do also feel like it's important to change the pictures occasionally. You want to have repetition, you want to have a reinforcement of things, and yet you don't want it to become so that you no longer really see the picture because you've seen it so many times before. This is one of the reasons why I encourage people to shift how they represent, even if you stay with the same words or nearly the same words, that you change the pictures or whatever creative way you have to symbolize and represent those words, and keep that dynamic and moving so that you stay interested, stay focused, stay motivated. So I hope that you'll check out the short tapping video that I'll be posting in the next day or two with your words. And I hope that you'll explore this practice, play with it, see how you can make it your own to really find and cement your motivation day by day to keep you moving towards that goal of fundamentally transforming your relationship with food for the better.